Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to have you here because not only am I here with you right now on Instagram Live, but I'm also recording a special bonus podcast episode. So hopefully, if you haven't been over and listened to Brazen, if you haven't jumped on the podcast, I'm sure you already have, but this is also going to be a bonus episode over there. So we are going to be talking about a lot of really great things today. Hopefully you leave this live with some practical tools that you can use to feel better, whether that's in mind, body, or soul. Recently, I've been hearing from a lot of women, especially with the holiday season, I'm sure a lot of stress has come up. So there's been a lot of anxious thoughts. There's been a lot of that anxiety feeling inside the body. Maybe you've been feeling a little tense. One of my one-on-one clients, we call it having a clenched asshole. So maybe that's been the case. Hopefully you leave today's live and podcast with a lot of those actionable tools that you can work into your everyday life to feel a hell of a lot better. And speaking of body and soul, we're going to discuss the different ways that you can move fear that is through your body, or to have you move through fear, however you'd like to see it. We're going to talk about stepping through that and what that looks like when it comes to taking care of your body. We're also going to talk about a lot of soul work today. So before I get into too many things, I want to let you know a couple extra things that are happening too. Some special bonuses here. Number one, I have information for you that just happened today. Brand new information. This is the first time I'm really talking about it. I did discuss it a little bit up in my stories. I made a quick reel about it, but this is brand new. So I'm going to share that with you here in just a second. And then there was one other piece. Oh yeah. Of course, the guest speakers. There's going to be some of the incredible women who are guest speakers on the Women Rising event here this winter. They're going to be joining us and they're going to be sharing a little bit about their journeys. They're going to be talking about what it is that they're going to be discussing in Women Rising. So let's jump in real quick. Let's see who all is here and who is joining us. Oh, I see Lottie is here. I see Tammy's here. Hey, Tammy. Oh, look at all. Hello. Joy is here. Anastasia's here. Oh, we got a crew. Joy said, hey, lady, just finished listening to your podcast. And bam, there you are again. Love it. I'm so glad. There is going to be a couple of different podcast episodes coming out soon, and I'm really excited about it. All right. Softball Playa 11. I love that. I also played softball. Big fan. Maybe you didn't know this about me, that is. Fun fact, I was so many different positions in softball, but my favorite was being a pitcher. It was the coolest experience to be up there on the mound and to be like, in those moments, I don't know anybody out there that played sports, I'd be on the mound. I was never a super confident young woman or teenager, so it was a little scary. It was a little nerve-wracking, but the adrenaline rush, the feeling of, okay, we are in this inning, we're about to shut it down, and there are 2 strikes, especially if you have 2 or 3 balls as well and you're a pitcher, you're like, bitch, let's get it together. There's no feeling like that. It's pretty freaking awesome. So if you have played any sports, especially softball player, let me know. Let me know what positions you played. Let me know when you played. Maybe you still are. I know I used to play beer league softball quite a bit, and that was a good time too. Not nearly as competitive as back in the high school days, but still a good time. Okay, I'm going to, here in a moment, let the women that are here that are going to be joining me, our guest speakers, I'm going to let them in here in a moment. But I wanted to just give you a little bit of information about what we're going to be discussing today. Because like I said, I want you to leave with some actionable steps, some actual things you can work into your daily life that will get you feeling better, that will create change, that will take you from feeling like sluggish or kind of down, or maybe you've been spiraling down into the shit. Maybe you've just not been feeling your best, and we want to take you to a new level of happiness, of joy, of feeling good in your body. And when I say a new level, I don't mean it in like a holy shit cheesy way. I am so serious. I want you to feel fucking better. And it is possible. You know it's possible. I know it's possible. But what you need are the actionable steps. You need to know exactly what to do in a way that'll work for you. So that's what we're going to be finding. And a couple of those that we're going to discuss. So when we are going through and we're looking at old patterns, old wounds, old behaviors, old limiting beliefs, there's a couple different things that we need to make sure that we're taking care of. And that's identifying, if you're willing to let it go. Are you even willing? Because sometimes we're not even willing to let go of the baggage, of the story, of the pain. You have to figure out if you are willing. I'm not asking you to finish it up completely and to sweep up all the residue. Just, are you willing? Another big piece of this is, what are you willing to do to maybe pull it from the root? Think of it that way. Not just kind of brush it off the surface, but actually get to the root of these old limiting beliefs, these old limiting patterns. Are you willing to get in there? What are you willing to do? And when I ask that, what I mean is, especially in Women Rising, we use a couple different tools. It's mind, body, and soul work. So one of the things that we do are very deep visualizations. And it's kind of cool that became something that I'm known for. I didn't really ever see that coming. That was never anything that I was like, oh yeah, that's what I want to be known for. But that's what happened. And I'll tell you, it even shocks me sometimes because I go back and I listen to my visualizations and I use them. Why would I not? It blows my mind too. I don't know how to explain how fucking cool, like how divine, how just synchronistic every single time. So very excited that we're going to be sharing some of those. I'll be sharing some of those, that is, in Women Rising. And we're going to talk about some different ways that you can create that for yourself. And if you want one of my visualizations, I have so many that I'd love to share with you. Please send me a DM. Like literally get out of the live right now. Go send me a DM because I don't want you to forget. Just say, hey, what visualizations do you have? Like, what can I have that's a freebie? Just send me a message. Okay. I would love to give you some. I want you to try some out. But then we're also going to talk about other ways that we can pull that stuff up from the root. Maybe that's going to look like energy work. Are you willing to do energy work? Are you willing to, inside of Women Rising, sit with myself, our guest speakers, women from all over the world? And are you willing to sit in a circle like that and feel how powerful it is as a woman to sit in a circle like that and then have energy work performed? And honestly, you'll be joining in because it's innate within you. You already know how to do it. It's not anything that I have to teach you. It's just you giving yourself permission. Honestly, that's what it really fucking comes down to, and trusting yourself. So are you willing? Is that something you're willing to do to help you move into this next version of your life? Are you willing to use tools like that to release these old patterns, these old beliefs, this old fucking, what is it that a woman called it recently? One of my clients, it was her inner bitch. It wasn't inner critic. It was something like her inner bitch. And I was like, yeah, are you willing to release that? Are you willing to let go of that? So the third step here, are you willing to let go of it? What are you willing to do? What kind of tools are you willing to use? And then the third one is, are you going to stay consistent? That's a question you have to actually ask yourself, in my personal belief. Like, in my opinion, you're going to have to ask yourself, are you willing to stay consistent? Are you going to put it on your calendar? Are you going to set a goal? Are you going to put a date on it? We all know that having SMART goals, there's a reason they're called SMART goals, more than one reason actually, but set yourself up for success. Don't start this work and be fucking wishy-washy about it and be like, oh, I'll check in here and there, or I'll have some half-ass accountability, or I'll kind of use the tools, but not fully. And that's fine if you do that. P.S. That's totally fine because that's your fucking journey, my dude. Not to sound like a fucking bumper sticker, but it's your fucking journey. How the fuck ever, if you are going to do wishy-washy work, you are going to get wishy-washy results, my dude. Okay. And I just need us to be on the same page with that. You can do whatever it is you want to do. If you do not want to have any kind of accountability buddy, any kind of coach or mentor or guide or teacher, that's fine. How are you going to stay accountable? How are you not going to be wishy-washy? Because if you don't want those wishy-washy goals, if you're like, bitch, I've already, every year, I tell myself yes. And I don't know what your goals are. Is it to start a business? Is it to feel better in your body? Is it to heal deep-rooted fucking shit from your child? What's your journey? Are you done doing it the wishy-washy way? I'm sure you are. So this is what you got to do. Figure out how you're going to stay accountable. So here's some different ways. Here's some tips. And I'm going to ask you, please pop your favorite way to stay consistent and dedicated. If you feel like it, put it in the chat. Let's all just share. This is one of the biggest pillars of the work that I do, is sharing the information. If you want to get to the deep work, that's when you come and work with me. But if you want the information, I got you. Okay. And I think we should all have each other. So throw it in the chat. What are some of your favorite ways? So before we get into that, before I give you those easy ways to stay accountable, let me see this chat. And I'm going to talk to you real quick too. I don't have, oh no, I didn't bring it with me. That's okay. I'm trying a new mushroom coffee. Many of you know I've been creating and playing with my own recipes for mushroom coffee for years. This is a new one that I purchased. I got it because it also had really, really delicious looking protein bars. And I'm always looking for a new protein bar that's not full of shit. You know what I mean? And they had this and it's called like IQ coffee. I don't know. Somebody look it up if you don't mind. Like, I think it's called IQ coffee. And it has mushrooms. It just has a ton of stuff that I want in my diet, that I want in my daily life. So go check it out. See if you like it. This is not sponsored or fucking anything like that. I'm just trying it and I like it a lot so far. And one of my little tricks for that, if one of your goals for this upcoming year, which I think we're all on the same page, like the actual new year starts March, April, calendar says January 1st, let's get started early. So if you are wanting to get more in touch with your body, you're wanting to maybe turn the dial up on your wellness, your fitness, whatever it is, little pro tip, in your coffee, instead of creamer, simple switch out, guys. That simple habit stacking, simple switch outs. Don't use creamer. Use protein, those pre-made protein shakes. There's a caramel protein shake in here. This mushroom coffee also, I don't even know if the mushroom coffee has protein in it. I'm not sure. But because of the shake, this has like 15 grams of protein. This one cup, just this cup. So just remember, you can always be adding things into your schedules and taking things out and switching stuff up and tweaking to figure out how to make your life work for you, how to make things feel better, how to reach your goals a little easier. Okay, let's talk ways to stay accountable. Are you ready? And then we're going to invite the women in, the guest speakers, so we can chit chat. Number one, if you are in a space where you're recognizing that being more accountable and showing up daily for yourself consistently has been a bit of a struggle, and maybe you know that you have a spicy fucking brain, like how many tabs do you have open right now? You know, that type of thing. Whatever you want to call it, if you have a spicy brain at all, I'm going to tell you right now, the easiest way for you to stay accountable, and you might roll your eyes at this. You might be like, no, that's too simple. That's not going to work. But I bet my left ass cheek that this would work. I need you to go get a few things, or maybe you already have it. I need you to get some sort of a large calendar. That can be a big wall calendar. That can be a chalkboard calendar. That can be a dry erase calendar. Okay? I need you to get some sort of calendar. I don't want you to be using some shit on your phone. Not for this one. Okay? There's a lot of cool things technology can do, and we're super grateful for it. Great time to be alive, but don't use it for this. Okay? Because there's probably a part of you that really fucking likes to check a box off and be like, fucking yes. You know that feeling? That's part of it. That's literally part of your strategy, is to celebrate, to feel the actual celebration. And what is better than crossing off one of those little check boxes and being like, fucking yes, did it. Okay? So that's part of it. And when it comes to plugging stuff in your phone, if you already have a bunch of tabs open in your brain, you probably also are navigating life with anxiety, or you've been working really hard to no longer have anxiety. And you probably get overstimulated pretty quickly. You probably are on your phone a lot, or a different screen, which is ironic because I have my computer here and I have my phone here, but I digress. That's probably the thing. So you don't need another thing on your phone. I know it's quick. I know it's easy. I know it's convenient. And I also know it's probably not going to work this time because it hasn't worked before. So let's switch it up. Let's try something new. Okay. So wall calendar, chalkboard calendar, or dry erase calendar. Something where you are physically writing. Also something where you can have some fun and be creative. Maybe you get yourself a chalkboard calendar and you fucking get creative with it, or your dry erase or whatever. That's a part of your strategy there too. Okay. Remember, you're a human. You don't necessarily come with a user manual, but we kind of know how you work. So let's use that. All right. So you're going to want to get those calendars, and you're also want to get some dry erase, just boards. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be this, but my dude, you can just go to Dollar Tree and you can grab yourself these and it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. If you want to go purchase something, if you want to trade your money for something that's identical to that, but 4 times the cost, then maybe we should discuss your relationship with money. Okay? Just go to the fucking Dollar Tree and get yourself some magnets and throw them on your fridge. Okay? You're going to pop those up there. I'm going to ask you to use those to organize your life. Okay? So if there's a different way outside of whiteboards, these little whiteboards, that's good for you, that's fine. But maybe just try this. So what I'm going to ask you to do on one of those whiteboards, the other one is up to you. You want to put your grocery list on there. You want to put the upcoming big events, like whatever. Do you want to put some cool ideas you've had? You have the space for it. On one of those whiteboards, I want you to go ahead and make a few lists. Okay? This is what I personally do. You can do it a different way, or you can try this. I have 4 quadrants. And in those 4 quadrants, I have my personal cycle. So my bleed, ovulation, luteal, follicular, and actually luteal and late luteal are kind of in 2 different ones because when I am in late luteal, I'm a different fucking animal, you know? So I put in there what I'm going to work on that week based off of how I'm going to be fucking feeling. So that way I get everything checked off my list in the month. I'm also going to put in there, hey, remember that when you feel like shit in luteal, it feels really good for you when you do this because I'm not fucking thinking about that. Not at that time. Sure not. But if I have it in front of me and I don't have to have 27 different tabs open, feels good. And remember, you don't even have to be bleeding, whether that is because you no longer bleed or maybe you never bled or maybe birth control or what the fuck ever. You don't actually have to be bleeding, but you still have cycles. Your mood cycles, your craving cycles, how fucking creative you feel. I'm not out here trying to fucking be creative in late luteal because I would bang my fucking face against a wall. I'd be like, this is not working. What is wrong with me? And that's what fucking happens when you try to do shit that doesn't align with what your mind, body, and soul are moving through. You can do it, but it's going to be harder, my dude. Like, just like you can manifest and co-create, you can chase your dreams. It's going to be harder than co-creation and manifestation though, but you can do it. So in that quadrant, maybe you also put food. Like I know there's certain foods that are better for my body and I will crave during ovulation. And I don't want to have to fucking think about it. Okay? So I put it on that list. Other cool thing about this, and then we're going to let the guests in. I'm going to give a few more of these accountability hacks while they're in here. But the other cool thing about this quadrant, the other cool thing about all of this is you're putting the dates down. You're making yourself more accountable because you're making sure everything's in front of you and it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. And if you have a partner and they see what's going on in your life and they see how they can maybe better help you or help themselves or what to cook for dinner even, it's there. There's no guessing. It's going to make it a lot easier to stay accountable when you make it easy to stay accountable. If you're working against yourself, it's going to be so much fucking harder. Okay? So let's let these ladies in. We have Deja. Okay, so they are going to start coming in here shortly. Hi, Letty. Oh, we kind of have the same vibe today. I almost wore my glasses. You look so cute. Oh, Anastasia. I should put on my glasses. Now I need them. Hello. How are you ladies?
Oh my gosh, we all have our hair pulled back today. Isn't that funny? We're all in the same sync.
It's definitely one of those days. Here, let me try to get Letty in here again, or Lottie in here again. Think over. Yeah, I'm going to have to switch my power cord from my computer over to my phone here in a second. Oh, Lottie's getting in here.
Oh my gosh, see? She has her hair pulled back too. Oh my gosh.
There she can't see her yet. I'm excited to be able to see her. Here, let me. Oh, I need to keep my computer plugged in.
We got a theme. Lottie, we're matching with her burnt orange.
Oh yeah, such a look. Here, Lottie, can you see me on your end, babe?
I can.
Well, I can't see you. I know you're there, so as soon as I can see your beautiful face, I'll be able to talk to you a little easier. How are all of you doing? Lottie, how are you? And since you just jumped in.
I'm doing
great. It's funny. I had the request and then I accidentally exited because I was just replying to everybody that what you're talking about with cycles is literally in my presentation for Women Rising. Like literally talking about the cyclical nature of productivity and how we can kind of hack it to do better for our bodies and do better for ourselves. So.
Mm.
Can we just get a cheers? Anybody having a cup nearby? I see Anastasia's beautiful cup. Cheers. Lottie, I feel like all of us always have the most synchronistic situations happening, especially as it's coming to Women Rising. I'm so excited to hear what you're going to be talking about. When it comes to that, are you going to walk them through like the different things that they can do to make it easier as well so they can leave with those actionable steps? Oh, I'm sure you are, but okay, cool. You want to talk to them just a little bit about that and then we can jump into some other ways to stay accountable? Oh, absolutely. Okay, so it's so exciting because so cyclical nature is something that I'm actually trying to I feel I'm an expert in cyclical nature of creativity, but I'm starting to try to figure out how to do the cyclical nature of life, of trying to align it with my menstrual cycle, trying to align it with my just energy in general. But what I feel I can do pretty successfully is I have my winter and my summer figured out. It's those transitionary months that are real rough. And so I personally feel that everyone's winter is very recognizable. It's menstrual if you haven't, if you don't, it's where your energy is just really low. And you should not do work then. If you have a job, feel free to do it, but that is the bare minimum. If you have a creative side hustle, if you do extra work, that is time to do admin and just straight up to-dos. You are not expected to do anything beyond that. Even write the to-dos down, don't do the to-dos. Well, summer, oh, that is high energy, baby. That is doing everything you can. That is, oh, I just had an idea. I'm going to do it successfully. Oh, it's already done. You are shocked that you do it so easily. And that to me is my favorite because like right now I'm in my summer. And so I wrote a short story within about an hour, like truly beginning, middle, and end, just because I was like, I had an idea. I'm going to do it. And I did it. So, hell yeah.
So much. I love
so
it.
just kind of rolling with it.
Like I figured out since I'm born in April that my new year is like second quarter, right? Like everybody else is like New Year's and like new you. And I'm like, I don't have the energy for this. Like mine kicks up when my birth months start like that. And that pattern I figured out and now trying to overlay, like, how do I actually sync my life around that? I love this. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like that's so spot on too with just nature's new year. Like, yes, we do follow a Gregorian calendar, and yes, we have for quite a while. And yes, the New Year's is technically January 1st, but that's not naturally how we are feeling as humans. Like, and I think that that speaks a lot to what Lottie was just saying too. Like, we are in this new year time, but maybe also fucking notice that we're in winter. It's not summer. It's not the same feeling. So just like Lottie said, maybe you make the to-do list even for your new year, and maybe you pick like one or two of them as the new year comes up with January 1st, and you're like, this is what I'm going to do until April, and then I'm going to fucking pump it up. I feel like that's so smart for all of us. Thanks for bringing that up, Anastasia. That's fucking brilliant.
I love it.
Okay. So let's talk. I'm going to give them a few more ways, two more ways specifically that they can be accountable. And if you guys have any, please, after I'm done, let's kind of roundtable it. Any other ways that you can think of that whoever's watching can be more accountable, can be more consistent, and ways that are easier. So I'm going to go back to what I was just saying when it comes to the calendar systems and the whiteboards. I've talked to, I think, every single human that I've ever encountered about this, especially every woman that I've ever worked with. Like, if you have a spicier brain, if you have a busier schedule, if you fucking, especially if you have kids, like, if you have things in life that make it a little bit time crunchy, a little bit stressful, a little bit anything, a business, having a calendar and having that whiteboard to help you live in a little bit more of an organic way, a natural way without it feeling heavy, that's going to be ideal because your consistency really is going to come down to the systems that you have for yourself. And I know Lottie and I have talked about that a lot before. Like it's not you have this lack of consistency and you just can't keep up with the goals. And maybe it's because I'm this, and maybe it's because I'm this label and this label. Fuck the labels that you're using to say that you can't be consistent. And maybe instead of that, you just allow yourself to find better systems that work for you. It reminds me of Gwen in the Brazen Sisterhood. her and I actually just spoke recently. This is a conversation her and I had about 2.5 years ago when we were working together one-on-one. And she was like, all these systems that I'm reading about, like I'm putting them into place and there must be something wrong with me. It must be this and it must be that. And I'm like, babe, could be, or it could just be that you need different systems. You need something different than what you're reading, and it's up to you to build it. And you can take and use from different people, and you can create your own systems to stay on track, to meet your goals, to do this, to do that. Don't fucking get down on yourself and find all these reasons that it might not be working and the reasons that you're making it not work, because that's just going to solidify an disgusting ass feeling of I'm not enough, there's something wrong with me, blah, 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 blah. So figure out your systems, piece them together yourself, and find ways that make it a little bit easier. Now, talking about Gwen, that's one of the accountability pieces I want to bring up. Having accountability buddies, having a community, working with a coach, working with a mentor, having somebody on your side that's cheering you on, that sees your goal with you, sees your vision with you, understands that there's going to be times when you fall off the fucking wagon and they don't let you stay down. Like, you have to have people like that in your corner. Now, you can definitely join a community, the Brazen Sisterhood. Anybody that's watching, I would love to have you in there. Letty, Anastasia, Lottie, they're all in there. That's why they're speakers in Women Rising. Come and join us. That's one of the biggest things that we do in there is we have different chat rooms. If you want to move your body, if you just need an accountability buddy for something totally different than fitness, like whatever it is, we have those spaces. And the very last thing that I'm going to say outside of finding a community that sees your vision, that wants you to succeed, that's going to show up and you're going to show up too, like outside of having that, one last piece to stay accountable is to make the promise to yourself every morning. Every fucking morning, and keep your promise, because that's also going to build self-trust. Of course, it's going to build self-confidence. It's going to raise your self-worth. The more that you, unconscious, subconscious level, hear yourself making promises out loud, especially in a mirror, because that's the big stuff. If you can say these promises to yourself in a mirror out loud in the morning, you're going to live by that promise throughout the day, just like your value systems. If you tell yourself, I'm going to, I don't know, move my body for 30 minutes today. I'm going to do at least one step towards my big goal of writing a book or starting a business or whatever it is. Like if you say a couple of things, 2 or 3 things, make that promise to yourself, you're going to live by that day. It's going to be easier to stay accountable because you didn't allow yourself to forget what you're doing. That's really the hardest part, is to keep it at the front of your mind, to keep it a priority. So every morning, instead of just throwing spaghetti at a wall, being like, I hope I fucking stick to this, don't even do that. Figure out a little mantra, a little promise for yourself in the mirror every morning, say it out loud, and then every day you can live by that. Okay, so those are my accountability hacks. Anastasia, Lottie, Letty, do you guys have any for the ladies?
I am actively working on mine. So I put it up in the Accountability Buddies Discord thread, a system that I came across from a TikTok. And again, like synchronicity. If you get on this journey of like asking and receiving, right? Like the mirror effect. I literally asked for something. I was like, I need something to help me be more accountable. And I love all these ideas. They all work. But this one was unique for me. The universe handed it to me. I literally pulled up TikTok and the first video was this bingo card.
Yeah,
the bingo card. So I spent time using Heather's recommendations and like stuff that we've talked about in the Discord, like all in our group, right? The how to use ChatGPT. And so I was like, okay, I want a bingo card. I need a bingo card system. And what does that look like for me? And so I had a whole conversation and I have chat pulled up and I was like, instead of bingo, I want it to be something that's, you know, more like what we talked about in our women's call, a word for the year. So my word, the acronym instead of, or it's not acronym, but like the categories, the word I used was shine. So, you know, the same number of letters as bingo, and then each letter is going to be representative of self, health, intuition, nourishment, and exercise. Or I'm still playing with it. Like this is brand new, right? Like, so what I've just done is I've got a poster board. I'm starting my draft of like, there it is. It says shine. And each sticky note is going to represent like the thing that I need to do to check off that bingo box. And then I have a reward system, you know, rewards earmarked for however many bingos I get and if I get a blackout. But yeah.
I
Highly
couldn't love I saw the same video or a similar one and immediately was like, that's what I'm creating for myself this weekend. Your version is 20 times better.
Yeah.
It's working for my brain. You know, I've struggled, like we've talked over the years, like I struggle with systems. I'm very spicy brained, but it's also in my chart. Like I am a manifest generator. Like I have to come up with it. I have to experiment. I have to do the thing that like, you know, just I have to work it out for myself and learn on my own in many, many ways. And so trying somebody else's system doesn't really work for me. This was simplistic enough that I was like, ooh, I'm inspired. So let me then create off that inspiration versus like take somebody's system and do it. So, you know, that's me. And that's where my brain goes. I'll keep you posted. Stay tuned for more how it goes.
Oh my gosh. Are you gonna go through this with them in Women Rising? I feel like you should, dude. Even for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Like by then, by at least next week, I'll have like a week's worth of, you know, progress and know how well it's working and where I need to tweak it and what prompts I need to adjust to get better feedback from chat. So yeah, totally. I can do that.
I love this. Anastasia, I'm so happy for you. You have been on a fucking mission to figure it out. Like, figure out your systems, figure out what works best, multidimensional and professional. Like, so many things that you've been working with. And this feels, I mean, just hearing you talk about it, you feel like connected to it. You feel like this is it. I am committed. I figured it out. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Well, again, like you've said, the thing I'm going to talk about in Women Rising is really going to be around this, right? Us four being in a room, us 6 to 10 to 12 to 20 to 100, right? It doesn't matter. Connection, the power of connection is that thing that we just sort of feed off of each other and we circulate amongst each other. And I found that first in TikTok, and then I found people like you. And that's just been, you know, to me, that's what I wanted to make sure that people really take away is understanding to find their tribe. And you have built such an amazing tribe, and it's been so supportive in my life. So I'm going to be your fangirl. Sorry.
I'm so happy. Never be sorry for that. Also, I'm not sure how to respond to that if we're honest, but like, never be sorry. I'm blushing. I'm honored. I'm just as shocked as we are. Like, I'm just as shocked. Like, every single time I open the Brazen Sisterhood, I'm going to fucking cry. Okay, this is not waterproof mascara, so we're about to see Ozzy Osbourne born on this one. Like, every time I open the chat, like, you ladies are in there and you're supporting each other and you're making each other laugh and you're sharing your wins and you're sharing your strategies and your practices and professional and networking. Like, it is truly more than I ever thought it was going to be. It was more than I ever dreamed up. And the fact that we are just starting, like, the Brazen Sisterhood is only 2.5 years old. That's all. And like, we're just starting. And these women that are joining the Brazen Sisterhood, because they are that, they're brazen women, they're bold, they have fucking grit, and they want more out of life, and they're tired of seeing the same shit everywhere. That has been, especially the last month and a half, I don't know what shift happened, but women have been coming forward. They're like, I've been craving this realness, this authenticity. I just posted a testimonial about it up in my story. A woman was like, I've been looking for your voice. Like, she's like, women all the time are like, I don't want fucking cookie cutter. I don't want somebody who says, gosh darn it, and they don't fucking mean it. I want somebody that talks like me, feels like me, and is real. And that's all of you ladies. Like, we all just show up as we are, and we're like, this is authenticity. This is vulnerability. This is being who you are and doing it on purpose. And I feel like it has created the most safe, sacred space. Again, that was my intention, but it's better than I thought it could be. Like, you enter into the Brazen Sisterhood, you're like, these women are fucking real. Like, I can actually talk about real stuff here. I can get to the bottom of real problems and find real solutions. I can laugh. I can enjoy. Like, you ladies really make it pretty fucking incredible.
Can we take a step back and say, you just said something super profound that I want to highlight, right? You said an intention. You talk about it with us all the time, and how the importance of that and the power of that and the things of that. This is proof of that.
Mm-hmm.
This group, and I feel it. I felt it through the camera. Like, I felt it through TikTok. Like, something about the way you set that intention for this group is like, it was powerful. And you've created a space to be able to share with other women exactly how to do that. And that's why we're here. We're here.
I fucking love you ladies. Cheers again. Cheers again. I love you ladies so much. Okay, Lottie, I still can't see your gorgeous face. But since I can't see you, have you been wanting to say anything about accountability before I move to Lottie, or Letty, because I can see her?
100%. But
okay.
I will let my gushing wait so that like.
Okay. Letty, do you have anything you'd like to share about how to stay accountable? Some easy hacks.
So for me, and I've kind of fallen off the wagon because it's that type of season for me right now, but routine for me is crucial for me to stay. So like when you were mentioning earlier, like you have to set that intention in the morning. And recently for me, I haven't been doing that in the morning, and my entire day just goes, and I'm just kind of just going with my ongoing to-do list that goes in my head, and I'm just moving things around. That's where I get at this season. But for me, for routine, to be able to stay on it is I keep my word to myself. And if I don't keep my word and I'm flexible about it, it changes everything. And then I beat myself up about it later on. So one thing that I used to do and that works for me is I make a list before going to bed what I need to do tomorrow. Like, what are the must-dos? What are non-negotiables? What can maybe wait? And that way I am checking off that list and making sure that I get to it. And if I've done most of the things on there that are non-negotiables, I feel better about myself. But if I don't get to it, I have to make sure I get it done the next day. And that's my discipline that I have to do, but also being a mom, and this is my busy season when it comes to, there's just so many family. I mean, everybody's busy right now, but for me, another thing as well for me, I saw the bingo card thing as well. And on the woo-woo side of stuff, I love a good vision board and future writing. And so I've actually created a little goodie that we're going to give to the ladies. I've created a how to do a vision board because most people don't know how, and throw in writing in there as well. And then I just recently saw the bingo card thing. I was like, I'm gonna throw some of those in there too, because there's different what is the word, different things for different people.
Yeah.
What is, I don't even,
different strokes for different folks.
yeah, there we go. There it is. And so because I loved a good vision board on the woo-woo side. You have it there throughout the year, and you have your future writing, so that way you are writing and it is there in your head. Me and my daughters have a vision board party at the end of every year. So I did that. I've even collected a bunch of Pinterest things. So I put them all on a Canva thing so they can print it out if they want to, or they can use their own, just so it's all there, because I love that for like the new year. And the winter time, to be able to stay on schedule with things, I also give myself more grace, because this is more of like the when you are just practicing but also integrating what you've learned in like the slowest way possible. Like when it comes to the mushroom coffee, if you want to try a new routine, now is the time to slow down and see if it works out for you. But I think And then just like the normal me to make sure I have my kid calendar on track. I carry a little handheld calendar in my purse wherever I go, because if anything comes up and while I'm in the wild and they're like, "Are you available?" I'll be like, "Let me pull out my little calendar," because I can't use my phone one. I just don't. Out of sight, out of mind for me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh,
Love it.
those are brilliant. I love that. And actually, give me 1 second. I'm going to plug my phone in and I want to see if I can see Savannah. Lottie. That was my bad.
So Lottie, I mean, Letty, you said set intentions in the morning, right? Like that was so, like that ties into everything that we're talking about, right? And it just rang and it resonated with me. I don't think I've really practiced it in that way, thought about intentions for what I understand now, how intentions work versus what, you know, we hear in the coaching space. And no offense, but like, you know, the corporate coaching space and just all the health coaching is always just like, it's one thing to hear it. It's another thing to really understand how it works. And that setting intention is like super powerful. I'm going to take that away from this because that's super helpful for me. And yes, I absolutely am somebody who is, I love the idea of vision boards. I need somebody to step me through it. I love like what just the little nuggets of, hey, use Pinterest and Canva. Like, oh, duh, I have Pinterest. I've used Pinterest for other things. I love it.
Agreed.
So excited, Letty. I'm so excited.
Those were brilliant. And I have to write off of Letty's for a second because same thing with Pinterest. And one of the things that I did, and I didn't think it was going to be that impactful, but we did this probably about 4 years ago now, and it's really been big, is I go get them printed on freeprints.com. Like I print the Pinterest pictures, and I don't know if this is just me making shit up or if it actually is this impactful. I don't know. But there's something about seeing it, because like a lot of the stuff on my vision board is trips and vacations and destinations and explorations, things like that. So when you have this picture that you print, it's in your head, you're like, oh, that's a picture I took. Like that's kind of where I go with it. So it's already happened. That's why it's a picture. Like I took that picture. So that's just something that I like to do because it makes it a little bit deeper for me. Yeah. So just to piggyback off that.
So one thing
I never even thought to use free prints. Like didn't even think about that.
So
see? I love this.
Biggest thing that I learned on how to grab pictures from Pinterest, because obviously other people own them, so that's why this is free. I'm not selling it or anything like that. But
right.
Thing to do is if you're on your computer, you kind of make your screen smaller on Pinterest and you just drag the picture over to your desktop and it will just drag them there. And
that's perfect.
Exactly. It's the easiest thing. You just drag it and it gets saved to your desktop, and then from your desktop you just upload them onto Canva and then you just put them on there. I just put like a regular piece of like the size paper and I just make them fit however they fit and I just print them out and then cut them out.
Oh my, this is okay. I got to stop myself because I have so many things going through all my tabs. Number one, can you ladies, especially with what you just said, Letty, can you ladies pop in the Brazen Sisterhood a few of the things that you're going to be talking about in Women Rising, just to let the ladies know that are going to be joining us what to expect? And if there's any ladies in there that haven't joined yet, they're going to be like, that's exactly what the fuck I've been looking for. Like, that's what I've been needing. Because I feel like there's so many different things that we cover inside the 4-day event that there's a lot for a woman who's thinking about joining or who is going to join us to really comprehend all the things that we're going to be covering. So that'd be so cool if you guys could pop that in there. Okay. All right. Hold on. No, I still can't. Let me try one more time.
Do you want me to leave and come back and see if that helps?
I was going to say try it.
Kinda. I want to see your beautiful face. Okay. While she's popping out and in then, there's going to be a couple more things that I want to chat about. And I just looked at it's already 12:45. Are you ladies available until about 1:30? So another 45 minutes? Okay, cool. If you need to hop off, you can totally hop off whenever. Let me see if I can get her back in here. But a few of the things I wanted to talk about was the energy work that happens inside of, she's here. Oh, you and Letty do match. Oh, right. I love that.
Complete accident.
This is perfect. Oh, and I love that it's all four of us. This makes me feel very Brady Bunchy, and it's very nice. I dig it. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is the energy work that happens inside of these events and the visualizations that happen inside of these events. So as the human that's facilitating it, I feel it, but not as much as you ladies have being in these events. So I would love for you guys to talk about those eventually. But before we do, is this still not going? Hold on. Are you froze on your end, Savannah? No, you moved your lips. Okay. Okay. All right. Lottie, do you want to tell us about a few of the, whatever you'd like to do, ways that you keep yourself accountable and why it works, how it works, all of that?
Okay. So we're going to break some things down real quick because I have some visuals.
Yes,
So
you do. Love that.
I also got the bingo card thing on TikTok. And so I did mine quarterly.
Oh my God, I love that. Yeah.
So I have things like open a high yield savings account, join an online writing group, inventory a room, the house, like all sorts of things that because Letty, I think you'll talk about this when you talk about your vision board and stuff, but like there's like 6 core things that I always focus on when I'm going into a quarter, and that is basically creativity, money, home, spirit, like social, and body. And that's like my encompassing ones. I know there's so many more that especially that are much more pinpointed, but those are like the 6 that I focus on when it comes to goal setting. And when I have those 6, it really does encompass a lot. Like, for example, all of next year, my main 3 goals is going to be money, writing, and the body. So we'll see how that goes. But also, I got to show off my stuff. So I got a new calendar, and it's punk history, or punk art history. And it's classic paintings with bitchy sayings. So this is the calendar I'm going to have. And so that's going to go right above my desk. So I can keep track. Sorry?
Link that where you got it. I want it.
Okay, I will do. And then to pair with it is, I think they're called badass stickers. And they're stickers that say, get shit done, badass bitch, get the fuck up. And this will mark my days.
Oh yeah, can you pop the links for both of those, especially over in the sisterhood, because I got to get myself some of those.
100%. So that will be my motivation of how I'm going to end my days, is essentially tracking of what did I do that day, or like what were my wins. And that way, if I have multiple wins a week, I should give myself a little reward, even though the system is set so I get a reward regardless.
Right.
But it just depends on the kind of reward.
I love that. We are all on the same wavelength big time, and I am a big fan. Like, if we, just us four, if we stayed at, not if, back up, rewind, because we are going to be dedicated. I'm so excited for us to have a conversation in like the beginning of Q2 next year and be like, how are you fucking feeling now? Like, this is consistency. This is dedication. This is accountability. And we're going to be, I say we take this over to the accountability buddies. Anastasia, you said you were putting that in there anyways, right?
Yeah, it's
let's go.
Already in there.
Fuck yeah. I say let's take this over there and let's bring all the women in the sisterhood into it and let's fucking go hard this year. What do you got, Lottie?
I was just going to say really quick, also, as another, like, please come join the Brazen Sisterhood before Women Rising. We are doing a 2025 goal setting with the accountability buddies.
Yes.
And it's going to be so fun.
Yes.
I think that's Thursday.
Thursday? And what time are you doing that?
EST. So 8 EST. So it should be, yeah, that makes sense. It's on the thing. It's on,
they can Google it. They can Google it. Yeah. It's 8 Eastern. Put it into Google and use the calculator on there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. This is a really cool energy. Before we go into anything else, this is a really cool energy that's happening and has been momentum. Like, it's been going for the past few months inside the Brazen Sisterhood. But like, to be able to bring this into, don't fall over, phone. To be able to bring this into Women Rising, and I know a lot of the Brazen Sisters will be in there, but this is the type of stuff that changes women's lives so quickly. Like, every bit of the work, we're going to be doing inner child healing. We're going to be doing some goal setting. We're going to be doing deep visualizations, energy work. We're going to talk about how to stay consistent, build courage, build consistency, or not consistency, but confidence. Like, all of these aspects together, all of the things we're going to be discussing with them and showing them, these women are going going to leave literally with their lives changed. And I just want you guys to sit with that. Like, you ladies are coming in as guest speakers. And because you're sharing who you are, your story, your medicine, your wisdom, your fucking strategies, you're going to help a woman that you might not ever meet in your whole damn life, who lives all the way on the other side of the world. You're going to help her change her fucking life. So I just really want to thank you guys again for being guest speakers, because it's really cool what we're going to accomplish next week.
You're going to make me cry.
Dude, I do it every day. I sit in front of the mirror doing my affirmations. I'm like, bitch, you changed the world. Like, just bawling. Just bawling. All right, let's talk about what it looks like inside of these with that energy work and those visualizations. Who wants to hop on that first?
I'll jump. The visualizations is like the first thing that you did that I think I did a freebie. I saw your TikTok and you offered a visualization that came with a thing, and I was like all in at that point. I was like, this is what I need, right? You talked about, earlier when you got on the call that this was a surprise gift of yours. You have the gift, and the magic that happens when we join together in those calls with those visualizations are just, awesome. And I think one of the things that I loved about, and I do love the way you lead them, is you help people understand where they can be flexible in their minds, right? Like I am off here picturing something slightly different than what you're talking about, but like I feel like I'm not breaking your rules, right? Like there is no rules. It's an exercise, and it's not one size fits all. And the way in which we do that together, that's why we're all in sync, right? Like the power that we have as a community centers on this kind of work that we're doing, and visualization work in those, it's mind-blowing. The last, for anybody that wants to join and like get access to the archive of things that we've, these other calls that we've had with each other, the vision work that we've had has been so pivotal for me personally. It's uplifted me. It's confirmation of things that I needed to that's floating around in your brain and in energy, and then it becomes tangible suddenly, because I now have a picture in my mind. It's a feeling that's now something that is tangible, and that then translated with the exercises that we're doing to do like vision board work, or the sticky notes that I have. And I think that process that we get to do together is just, that's where the magic is for me.
Thank you for sharing that, dude. I know they've been so pivotal for you. Like, getting your voice clips and messages after calls or visualizations is always one of my favorite parts. Like, I know I can almost bet Anastasia's name is going to pop up. I'm going to see her face and she's going to be like, holy shit. Like, that was incredible. That was amazing. And that is my confirmation, because I'm there, I'm doing it. I'm also the conduit. So it's not 100% me. So like, what comes through, I can't take all of the grace on that one, or all of the glory on that one, I should say, but it's pretty incredible what happens. Like, I feel internal shifts as I follow along with it as well. And when I hear from you ladies, like, similar feelings that I had, or similar visualizations, or, oh my gosh, I was there with you, it's just such a cool confirmation, and it makes me want to do it more. Like, that's the confidence inside of that work, is like, oh my gosh, this is actually working. Because like you said, this stuff isn't tangible, but when you are giving me those tangible messages, like, bitch, that was crazy. I'm like, oh, okay, good, it worked. All right, what about Lottie or Letty? Do you guys have anything to talk about when it comes to those? Yeah, what's up, babe?
So for me, the visuals, when I started working one-on-one with you, I think we had a super powerful one where all my ancestors were all of a sudden in the room with us. And I was just, so like, the healing and the visuals are so healing for me, because it's almost like you kind of see, and we always do a go quantum, right? Time is not linear. So you're almost like moving to that spot when it happened, and you are healing that spot and you're moving forward from that. And we even did one with Haley, and that one was so healing for me. And it got to the point where I was back in that room at my lowest point, helping myself get off that floor. And when I was there that day, I was like, what? How did I even get the strength to get up off the floor? Years later, it was me, because time is not time. Yeah, like they are so
Goosebumps.
crazy. And just like with us and the groups, and we have like when we're dancing at the beach, like I couldn't even tell you, like that was so powerful that it really did feel like we were just dancing there, and we've never met in person.
Right.
So to me, when you're able to sit there and visualize these things, you are giving yourself a gift to be able to almost rewrite the past or that moment. And the energy that is felt, it's so undeniable that it's like you can only move forward from it.
Yeah.
And the strength and the energy, like we could move a whole mountain. Like so for me, it's the healing part. It's so good.
It's like it's kind of the pulse of the work. Like you can do the work without the energy work, without the guided visualizations, not even just with us, with anyone. Like you can do it without that soul work, without that spiritual work. You can focus mainly on the mind and the body. But if you choose to work in the soul work and the spirit work, everything changes so quickly. And you recognize pretty fast, oh shit, this is what I was needing. Like for me, mindset work came and soul work came pretty much together. So from the get-go, I was like, this is part of the journey. This doesn't make sense. I think I'm going crazy. I don't know who I'm talking to right now. What is this? And it felt like the most sure shot thing I'd ever known in my fucking life. And I was like, this is true. I'm crazy then, because this shit's true. Like, because the women that I have talked to, even in Women Rising and past ones, when they have, just like you, they have that visualization, they get out, they're like, I could fucking move a mountain right now. Like, I'm so sure of myself. I'm so excited. I feel so brave and so strong. Like, they get out of those, they're like, this is what I've been missing, is this type of soul work, this type of getting down into my spirit and creating, not just a visual, but creating a timeline. I don't want to use that word because that kind of is not my jam. Creating the vision. There we go. Creating the vision so you can step into the vision and you can start living as that version of you, and you can feel the vision in your heart. You can feel it viscerally in your gut. When they do that, that seems to be the missing piece.
So to add to that, right, it's pulling from infinite possibilities, right? There's the you that's the you that's stuck in the mental loop. There's the you that's sick. There's the you that's absolutely fucking on fire and doing amazing things. That's all in existence. And the minute we do this work and we chant, we focus our minds, and then collectively we're feeding each other energy, it brings it about, right? You're able to pull and focus on that, and that visual work is what like syncs it, takes it from that wave to that particle. It's quantum. We talked about it, right? The mindset work. So for the thing that we talk about so often is heal your trauma, work on your trauma, do your mindset work. For me, it was in that order, right? Like I had to do the healing of the trauma, then the product of that was mindset work, and then that freed me up internally. It cleaned out like all the garbage, all the mental loops that were in the way of me then being able to have that, bring that clarity in of the soul work, of the spirit work, of the things that allowed me to visualize again in my life. It's, yeah, like those go hand in hand. It's kind of the journey.
Yeah, so well put too. The way that you just talked about like them weaving together like that, that's so true. So true. All right, Lottie, what do you got when it comes to visualizations and energy work in there?
Okay,
You've been like different single Women Rising too.
know. I always have epiphany at every Women Rising when it comes to visualization. Not only do I think you're brilliant at it, that's definitely part of it.
Thank you.
I also think that when your body like wants it, it's ready. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you feel it
Yes.
of like, okay, yeah, I'll close my eyes. Yeah, I'll listen. Okay, I'm seeing. Oh no, oh no, this is real. And it is kind of that like your body is waiting for you to be ready. And I think having something like Women Rising, where it's a safe and comfortable atmosphere, you're in like the protected home, like you're able to connect. I think all these factors really lead to life-changing moments. I mean, I met Heather, let's see, 20 like December, November 2023. Like, so
Yeah.
it's been a year. It's
Yeah.
been a single year, and I feel like I have changed so much. So
Same.
much. Yeah, exactly. And it's actually really funny. We're kind of talking about like the quantumness of visualization as well. So I actually started a new therapist recently. She's a holistic therapist.
Love
Love her
that.
so far. And it was funny today, and I was like, I've been having visualizations of who my future self, and she's like, so where is she? What is she doing? And I told her, and she was like, so do you feel that you cannot become your ideal self until you leave where you are? And I was like, I think so. And that was pretty big to discover today. But I can't move until 3 years from now. So she was like, hey, so you have to somehow nourish and complete your soul and not be your ideal self quite yet. But what are the steps and seeds that you can plant out to become that person? And so I was like, yes, like
Oh my gosh, she
Yeah.
love the
is.
therapy that's
Heather,
going on.
let's bring her. We need her. Like that
Right?
was brilliant.
I know she's so far, and it's only our second or third session too, and she's throwing all this out. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah,
Dropping
that
bombs.
real, and she knows about you, Heather. Like I was like, do you know who Heather Powell is? And she's like, yeah, I follow her on Instagram. And I was like,
Oh my
oh
God,
my
will you
gosh.
please
You need to
tell her?
Yes. Will you please tell her if she is into it? Have her message me on Instagram. She can come to Women Rising for free.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
gift on me.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And we did the tapping today too. Oh, she's just so good. I just love her.
Oh,
But yeah, all that to say is like visualization to me is really important because my intuition was really strong when I was a child. Then something horrible happened and it got completely cut away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, my intuition has done its very best to crawl its way back to me, and it finally has. And that's definitely been with the
Mm.
help of visualization.
I love that.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
No.
I just love this group. Okay, what time do we got? We got 1:03. All right. So where do I want to go with this? What do we got? We got about 25 minutes. I actually, if we can get off in like 10, that'd probably be better because then I can prepare even more for my next call. Let's talk about reconnecting with intuition. Let's talk about reconnecting to your innate power and the different levels that live inside of that for all of us. Because, like, when I visualize that, I see us. This is because of who I am, obviously. I see the fucking dashboard of like a 1969 old truck, and there's fucking dust everywhere, and there's dials everywhere. And like some people have to turn the dial up on their confidence in order to step into their innate power. Some people need to turn the dial up on trusting themselves. Like everybody has different dials. Everybody, it's different, but we can all go to 10. We all are capable of that. It's the willingness that is required. Kind of going back to the very beginning, like it's a willingness that you have to have. So reconnecting with your innate power, I think that a big piece of that, and I'd love for you guys to kind of build this with me, a huge piece is being willing and open to start believing in yourself. One of the one-on-one conversations that I had last week, we discussed willingness to do it regardless. So one of my clients has a really deep-rooted trauma, like fucking big T, right? Real difficult. Been working on it for a very long time with myself and other members of her team. We've been sweeping out the residue. And we reached a point recently where she was not having as big of a response or a reaction, especially in her body when we discussed it, the parts of it that she felt comfortable discussing, mostly the moving forward from it part, right? She didn't get as big of a reaction or response. So we identified that now is the time then to start doing something different because we've reached a pinnacle, pivotal moment. So I asked her, now that you no longer have those responses and reactions in your bodies when we discussed you moving forward from this, because you've been working your fucking ass off on healing it and pulling it from the root, are you ready to walk through the fear fucking regardless? You're going to have the thoughts. You're going to have the I don't think I can. You're going to have the can you not fucking care though? Can you say, this is what's going to happen, blah, 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 but I'm not going to spend time, money, well, for her, time, money, and energy digging into the, oh, but 20 years ago, this happened and it's so hard. And 10 years ago, who cares? I mean, we care, but also right now, who cares? Because you're moving forward. Like, are you willing to do that? Are you in a space where you can safely do that? Not comfortably do it, because it ain't going to be comfortable, because it's not familiar. It's going to feel like resistance. Can you do it regardless? So I feel like believing in yourself regardless, believing in your capabilities regardless, believing that, let's say you jump into the great unknown, you take a leap face first, and you fall on your face. Who cares? Mm-hmm. Stand back up, because there's going to be people around you, especially if you have a community that you intentionally created for yourself or joined, like the Brazen Sisterhood or whatever. Like, if you have that group and you're vulnerable enough to say, I'm taking this leap, guys. I'm taking this leap. I'm going to do it. I'm putting it in this group or this chat or whatever. I'm talking about it now so I can be even more accountable. And then you jump and then you come back. You're like, I fucking really hard fell on my face. Like, really hard. Your group, your community, your tribe is going to be like, take a few days, dust yourself off, fucking lick your wounds, and then let's fucking go. Yeah. Like, let's fucking go. Get your shit. Let's go. I feel like that's really important to reconnect to your innate power. And then one other one I think is full acceptance, which kind of goes hand in hand with the willingness to do it regardless. Just the full acceptance. Acceptance that there's parts of you that you're not ready to heal right now. So stop trying to open up that fucking wound. Acceptance of what's happened in the past is happened in the past. And that's not what you're living in right now unless you choose to, because you bring it into the present moment. Acceptance of what you have done, what you haven't done, the dreams you didn't reach, the goals you didn't set, the stomach or the legs or the thighs or the dimples on your ass or the cellulite, like, who fucking cares? It's acceptance across the board. This is who you are right now. This is where you are right now. Can you accept it fully? I think those are really important. So I'm going to pass it over to whoever wants to go next. Just let me know and just add on to it. What you got, Lottie?
I mean, the main thing, I don't know, I feel like my intuition is kind of sparking right now. So I feel like resiliency is a medal of honor within us. It's within us and within our groups. And as someone who's experienced big T trauma, little T trauma, one thing that for anyone watching / anyone here, I would love to note is that trauma is a mold, right? It's something that can grow within our walls. It can grow the floorboards. It can be nasty and black, or it could be just kind of yucky and you can sweep it out with a gentle go. Regardless, when you clean it, it still smells a little bit. It still has the residue, but you're good. It's free from you. It is unclenched from your life. And you'll always have that smell sometimes where it's like the memories of it or the inclination of it, but you are a new house. You're a brand new house without it. And house as a metaphor is really important to me because this kind of goes back to visualization. When I was growing up, I always felt that I lived in a haunted house and that haunted house was myself. And during a visualization I did, I think last year with Heather, I literally... Okay, I'm trying not to cry. Literally, I saw myself, my little self, in a haunted house. And through visualization, I went through the door, grabbed her hand, and took her out of there. So she no longer was there. And that to me was integral to my healing, to my becoming a better person, to cleaning my house out. And it is entirely possible to go through the hard things and live, because living is proof that we can do the hard things.
You are such a poet.
Thank you.
I tell you, every time you speak, I think, like, you speak poetry, and it always grips my fucking heart and soul every single time. I'm like, yes, that is the feeling. That's exactly it. She is on point. Like, knowing that you had, I'm going to go on a limb and say, like, top 10 healing experiences in that visualization, because that was you freeing that version of yourself. And if you freed that version of yourself, then you also freed all the limiting beliefs that came with that, all of the fears, all of the doubts. Like, it wasn't just this, visualized myself walking the little version of me out the door. No, like, you viscerally felt it. It changed who you were. And let's just say it affected every single one of your energy centers from your, well, not all of them, just the main 7, from your crown to your root and vice versa. Like, it hit all of those, I'm sure. And when you do work and you recognize, like Anastasia was saying, the scientific ends and the spiritual ends, which is the same shit, just different words. Like, when you do that and you pay attention to it, you don't have to remember that you healed that. You know, you don't have to wake up every day and convince yourself of it. You already did that. Now you're living in this brand new version of you. And I'm just really proud of you for doing that, because that's big work. Cheers to Lottie. Cheers to Lottie on walking that little girl out the door. All right. I think I want to announce something pretty big. Can I do that real quick?
Yeah.
It's pretty big. So this happened. This has been kind of happening. But I didn't really know what was going on. You know, when you start to have the feelings and the movement and the little synchronicities and everything, and you're like, what the fuck is this? I think I know. Is that what it is? It happened today on the treadmill. I was warming up at the gym, feeling a little bit like dog shit, if we're being honest, because I'm still fighting off a sickness. So I'm like heavy breathing. You know, when you're listening to your headphones and you're heavy breathing on a treadmill, so, but you're also not trying to be on the treadmill, so you're like focused breathing. So I'm doing that, and I'm like kind of in a meditative state at that point, because I'm trying not to fucking breathe like Bigfoot. And this, it wasn't even an idea. It was like a confirmation. It was, I don't even know what word to give it right now. I'm still kind of processing it. But it came through like a wave. A certainty would be a good word for it. This is the last winter women rising. This is the last one. There will be summer women risings, but this is the last winter one. And the reason for that is because instead, I'm going to start hosting. I haven't even said, this is the first place I'm saying this on. Instead, what I will be doing is hosting a 2-day experience. It will not be the free ones that we've had before. So maybe I'll add a 3rd day to make it easy to see the difference. We'll see. 2 or 3 day experience hosted at the end of the year. And it's going to be hyper focus on setting up your systems, setting your goals, getting clear on your visions, doing everything necessary to set yourself up for success in the upcoming year. And that will be what we focus on at the end of every year inside of the coaching business.
Hell
So
yeah.
that's the plan. What do you guys think?
Love it.
It's gonna be
Yeah?
good. Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm like, why have I, like, Women Rising, the winter edition, kind of, for the most part, especially this one, it focuses on it a lot, but it's just been, like, last year it kind of came in, like a couple different women that is, have said something at that point about like, hey, do you have anything like this available? Like, do you have anything that I could like do, whether it's pre-recorded, on demand, live, like, do you have any of it? And I was like, I have bits and pieces. And then this year, like I said, on the treadmill this morning, especially, like, things have been kind of trickling in. And then it was just like a, bitch, you're not doing Women Rising in the winter anymore. That has run its course. So you guys are the very last group of guest speakers for Winter Women Rising.
I'm
I love
excited.
it. So my immediate response is, throughout the year, there are ways in which we have built connection through community, right? You have the Spring Women Rising, you have all of these ways in which, and right now what I'm seeing personally in the TikTok and Instagram communities is like we talked about earlier, is women are craving connection, right? We need that thing that helps us get connected. And you already have that. You meet that need. You push that out, and that's what the Brazen Sisterhood is. You built that community, and we have those opportunities to connect. So to me, it just makes absolute sense, because this is a need. Like, we've got connection. We have a place to connect. Now let's use our connections to like do the things things that we're already doing, but like, you know, for everybody else that we just need to expand ourselves. We continue to expand ourselves and we help each other holding our hands like we visualized, right? We rise together. And that's by actually taking the actions. I love it. It resonates with me like wholeheartedly.
Good. Good. What you got, Lottie?
So you should do quarter accountability for the people who do it. So that way they have connection to Brazen. They're able to talk about the success and stuff they've gotten from the program. And that way it's guaranteed accountability for the very things that they've created within your group.
Like
Yeah.
this.
Will you send me a message will you just pop me? That's, yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. That's incredible. Oh, I'm so glad that you ladies like it. I really feel like it is the most necessary thing. And I feel like the more that we can create spaces that are unique and give women what they actually are craving, in new and refreshing ways, like this is something I've never seen before. Like it's something that I've personally never experienced. The Women Rising that's happening right now next week is literally the closest thing that I've ever seen. That is, let's holistically, mind, body, soul, let's figure out how to set your vision and walk you towards it and get the steps out and get it planned. Like I've never been a part of anything like that outside of, like I said, what we're going to be hosting next week. So I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. All right, I have just a few more minutes and I'm going to pop off. Letty, what you got, babe?
Oh, I was just going to say, as you were explaining it, and then I was also explaining it to me, I got the visual of like the end of the year, you're almost like wrapping up this like present that you've like worked on all along. And then in the new year, you're like opening it up and all your goodies are in there because you are ready to go. That's how I saw it.
I love that. Oh, that's so perfect. It hits on so many levels too. Oh, I love that. Okay, so Anastasia and Letty, real quick, well, not real quick, but quick-ish, what is one piece for you that you'd like to touch on right now about reconnecting to your innate power? We'll start with you, Letty.
For me, and this has been my journey since day one, is trusting my intuition. And one of the biggest things is giving myself grace. And and having to be able to also understand what's my intuition and what isn't. And to be able to do that, I had to heal a few things. I had to go through all the things and move all the trash to be able to like, what is this? And a huge one that has helped me just in the last year and a half is I cycle synced. And cycling has helped me with my intuition so much more because I'm more in tune with my body. So I'm able to understand like, oh, why, what is that? Is that telling me that I'm too tired right now? What's my cycle? Yeah, duh, I'm exhausted. So then that point you're trusting yourself and you're like, okay, that is cycle syncing with myself. So I'm able to understand what my body is telling me as opposed to gaslighting myself and be like, you got this, go and do it.
Right.
Another thing as well is when it comes to anxiety, when I get anxiety, I have to break it down. Why am I getting where is it coming from? Because that helps me not like, I don't want to say punish myself, but be like, you got this, you're good. Like, why is it such a big deal? I have to make the time to sit down and be like, why am I anxious? And for me, it has helped me a lot going to the gym. And then that goes back to being out of alignment. For me, if I feel like I'm out of alignment, I start getting very overstimulated, and then that creates anxiety. And so I know what my steps are, and I was like, okay, I'm overstimulated. That's anxiety. Let's go run it off. And then I'll be a little bit more clear-headed. So also giving myself grace that I don't understand it right away. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But giving yourself grace that you are trusting yourself, that regardless what the outcome is of you making a decision, you can handle yourself. You are able to pick yourself up. And if you aren't, and if it's one of those where it's a bigger T, you have the tools or the community, the Brazen Sisterhood, you have somebody that you're able to turn to if you know that that's going to send you down a spiral. So knowing, for me, I'm the type of thinker where I see a million paths and I choose one, but I also know, okay, if that doesn't work out, what is my backup plan, or how am I going to help myself get back up to baseline, right? So for me, it's just a constant stuff of giving myself grace, trusting that I have myself and that I have the tools and the support in line to be able to trust that what I'm saying, because it's all trial and error. You are constantly gathering data on yourself, which I do. So it's, does this work for me? Does it not work for me? And you just have to be like, nope, that didn't work. And you just got to keep going with it.
Yeah. Dude, fucking yes. So number one, with your cycle, especially because when you are, whether you actually do bleed or it's the time of the month for you to bleed, your intuition is going to have a bigger connection at that point. That is where, quote unquote, let's say the veil is the thinnest for us as women. So one of the biggest things with anxiety, and specifically depressive states, that I work with women on, that I've seen, and I'm sure you've seen it too, Letty, with the women that you work with, is they get down on themselves during that time, during the bleed time. They're like, oh my gosh, it's just like all my worst fears are coming to my head and all these things from the past and all these, yeah, babe, because you're being asked to look at it, not to sit in your chair and disassociate and try to fucking organize it all up here and figure it out and just sit there and be like, no, get it on paper, organize it, look at it and be like, oh, fuck, I'm trying to be told something right now. I'm trying to be given the guidance right now. But you're just trying to do it all up here. That's not going to fucking cut it, ever. Never in that part of your cycle when the veil is the thinnest and you're receiving all the information and the guidance and the healing is coming to the surface and all of that, it is never the good time to let your brain try to figure it all out, because it will not happen and you're going to go into this depressive, anxious state, possibly, where you're like, oh my gosh, I've made all the worst choices and I'm the worst human. And also, I will say to that, I'm a woman that is realizing that we're going to go with a self-diagnosis at this point. I don't need somebody to diagnose me. I believe in diagnosis, whoever's watching, but I don't need the fucking label. PMDD is real, and I fucking definitely have that shit. So when I reach that point, it's also important for me to have like some sort of something that I can see that says like, you don't need to go on WebMD and find all the worst things that could possibly be wrong with you because of what your mental state is right now. No, bitch, it's not your mental state. It's your thoughts, and it's time to just write it down instead of like accuse yourself and attach all these thoughts and everything to you. There's nothing wrong. You just need to sort through the information that's coming forward. And I feel like you touching on that is huge. And it would be easier than if you know you're in that part of your cycle to differentiate and discern between the voice of fear, which would be a lot in that, or the voice of your intuition, because they sound really fucking similar when you are in that part of your cycle. It's like, is this my period? Is this that I'm losing it? Do I want to punch a wall? Is that the voice of fear? Is this the voice of my intuition? Like, knowing where you are is going to be that compass then on what step to take. Like, do you need to maybe just have a snack and take a nap? Or do you need to take action? Probably the nap and the snack. I love that. Thank you, Letty. Okay. Oh, I love it. Jennifer popped in and she said PMDD makes me its bitch every month. Big same. And Lottie, thank you for getting in there. I don't know if Letty and Anastasia, you guys have as well, but I've seen Lottie doing it a lot. Thank you for getting in that chat room and replying to people. I really appreciate that. Okay, Anastasia, hit us with what you feel like is necessary to reconnect to your innate power.
So it's been the journey, right? I think the work that Letty is doing to teach women how to love themselves is paramount. I would say before that work, though, is you're going to struggle if you do not find what helps you heal those thought cycles. The mindset work is the precursor to that, like I said, is trauma work. And that trauma work is pivotal. For me, the jumping off point was EMDR. And like to piggyback on what Letty is saying is, I did the same process that she's describing. I had to ask myself, why am I triggered right now? And, you know, for me, I went down the whole rabbit hole of understanding like all of the psychology of things. I was like, oh, I'm clearly anxious. Okay, why? I had to ask myself those same questions. I did the same thing that she's talking about. I went and did meditative walks. Well, I was doing EMDR walks is really what I was doing, because I was like, I would channel like that sensation, that anxious sensation, and I would pull that up and I would understand it, and I would trace it through until I got to the core root of what that trauma thought was. And then I would reprogram my thinking in that walk outside, connected with Mother Earth. Like at the time, I didn't know the spiritual side was not even on the table for me. It's in hindsight that I see all these beautiful connections. But I did meditation baths. Like I would sit in an ice bath, which causes you to have to really work on your breathing. I was doing that because, you know, some scientists said this was really good for your health, and like I was trying to do health work, and I would sit and listen to Odessa's intro to one of their albums, which is This Version of You. And This Version of You is a guided meditation, and I wasn't in the woo, I was doing that work. So everything she said is like exactly, and that enabled me to get to a point where suddenly I was unlocked to see myself and be myself and value myself. And as soon as I understood that I love me and I had to love all parts of me, that unlocked me starting to hear it and then understand that I can trust it. And that's where all the woo and the spiritual side started to like coalesce and like overlap. And that's where I started to distinguish, oh, this voice all along is that voice that I can trust. I struggled with PMDD. I struggled with all the things, all of it. I went through the same journey. And I think so many of us are on that same journey. So yeah, I can't wait for people to listen to Letty talk about the power of what it means to reconnect with yourself as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And the places that we're in the Brazen Sisterhood is literally that. We are mirroring each other and that journey that we're on to reconnect with ourselves. And once you do that, then you start to trust yourself. And how you get to that point and the cocktail, there seems to be a generalized order. Connecting with your body, right? Connect with the body. That's what I was doing in those nature walks. That's what I was doing in the bath, right? I was regulating my breathing. I was syncing my body. Yeah. Connect with the body. Connect with,
hell yeah.
With who you are. Yeah.
That's so spot on. That's and Letty, you'll have to let me know your process that you do when anxiety comes up, what Anastasia is talking about. Does it stem from the work that we had done with the acknowledge, question, replace, and then move your body?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, good.
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah, dude. I love that. So because we're talking about personalizing the process, I just want to point this out. Like, and Anastasia has already talked about this with like the bingo card. So whoever's watching this, whether you're here with us live, you are watching and listening, because this is going to be a bonus podcast that comes out this week, PS. Like wherever you are and you're watching this, take the systems, take the practices, use them. All of us have talked about this in one way, shape, or form. Use them. Just because you know them doesn't mean that makes them work. You actually have to use them. You can't just intellectualize the work. You have to actually do the work. So put it into your systems, put it into your daily life, and then fucking tweak it and make it your own. Like Letty has created her own methods, her own systems that not only work for her, but she teaches other women how to do this work now because she took the time to integrate it and be like, oh, how do I want to tweak this? How do I want to move this? And that's what we've all done in all of our lives. Like, I just think it's important for whoever's listening to know you don't have to do it the way that we're saying, but you do have to do something.
Yeah.
You got to do something.
Because the longer you do it, your own system tweaks, because it doesn't work the way it's supposed to work. You need a little bit more of this over here. You need a little bit more of that. So it will change.
Yeah.
You just got to roll with the punches.
Right. Well, and I'm just going to fucking put a little shameless plug in here. That's why working with a coach is so vital. Like,
Oh,
That is why, like, if you don't have a coach, at least have a community that shows up and you show up with. But it will be so much better if you have a coach or a mentor that you are checking in with once a week, a few times a month, whatever your schedule is. And you have to look at your goals, what you said you were going to do, the promises, like expectations, and y'all talk about it. And you figure out, okay, we didn't quite reach it, but we're still going to do it. How are we going to get there? And at the same time, you're learning new techniques, new practices, you're understanding yourself better. Like, if you don't want to work with me as your coach, which I'm guessing if they're listening to this, they probably are at least slightly interested. So, hey, how you doing? But like, if you don't want to work with me, that's fine. Maybe you actually, Letty's right here. Letty's also a mentor coach. Maybe you're meant to work with Letty. Maybe you're meant to work with Anastasia or with Lottie or with somebody else. But you need to work with someone. If you have reached a point where you're like, it's nothing's really changing, I feel like I'm doing it wrong, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just not fulfilling the full cycle here and finding somebody that will hold you accountable and will help you reach your goals. There's certain stuff we can do alone. There's certain stuff we can't. You have to have a community. And that's why Women Rising, going with what all we were saying, Women Rising is vital for that because it's a community of women. You might not have the same goals and visions as the woman right beside you or in the Zoom box right beside you, but you have the same dedication. You have the same commitment. And if somebody shows up and their commitment's a little slacking in Women Rising, that commitment's going to get fired the fuck up because they're surrounded by women that are like, let's go. We're not waiting around anymore. We know what it looks like when we wait, and we know what the results of that are. So if not now, when? When are you going to do it? That's what shows up in Women Rising. So thank you, ladies, for being here. I'm so excited for next week, even more now, like talking about everything that you guys are going to be covering, learning about the bingo card that Anastasia made, which is so bomb. Like knowing that Letty has a freebie. I know Jennifer, I don't know if Jennifer's still in here. Jennifer has a freebie that she's passing out too, and it is so good. She sent it to me in an email. She's like, yo, will you read this and like, see if it's good for this? It's so good. When you ladies see it, you're gonna be like, holy shit. She took a lot of her creative juices and poured it into that. So knowing that that's happening, and I don't remember, Lottie, Anastasia, do you guys have any goodies that you're gonna be giving them at all?
Probably.
You don't have to. Maybe? Maybe?
I'll say maybe.
That's fine. I'll take a maybe. Okay. Well, thank you guys for being here. Like I said, this is going to be a bonus podcast that I'm going to be putting out. I don't know if I'm going to try to find a way to use all of us because I feel like that'd be better for the YouTube. Like nobody just wants to see me watching this phone on the YouTube podcast. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to get all of us on there. I'm really excited to make this a bonus episode. I'm also going to be posting this up as well. So is there any last thing? I'll start with Letty. Oh, my phone's going to fall. We'll start with Letty, then we'll go to Lottie and end with Anastasia. What do you want to tell the woman that either is already signed up for Women Rising or is about to sign up? What do you want to say to her? Go ahead, Letty.
Get ready for a party because it's going to be great. But all seriousness, it's truly a gift, and being able to just be a woman today is truly a gift with the voices that we are able to share and experiences we're able to share. And I'm really excited to be able to be somebody that teaches them something new or they've never understood, and just all of us together, because I love this bunch so much, just thinking about all the, because we can talk for hours, and just it's gonna be such a great party. Like when I describe when we would work together, it's like a magical little like hangout with your bestie. Like it's like that. And like Lottie said, the visualizations that will come from what we're doing, your walls are gonna be torn down in a way you didn't know could be torn down, because this is a sisterhood where you are safe. And the healing that's going to come from it is going to set you up for success. And we are here to hold your hand and every step of the way. So.
Fuck yes, dude. Love that. Lottie, what do you have to say to him?
I will say it is also like a PowerPoint sleepover. That's really what it is.
It really is. It really is.
And with that, you're just going to be gabbing and just being with really cool people. And honestly, the best part of it is you're going to get more out of it than you expect, along with getting more people in your life that you never knew you needed.
That feels like a personal experience that you just shared right there, girl.
It is.
Oh, I'm so grateful that you are here. I'm so grateful all of you ladies are going to be there. Anastasia, go ahead and round us out. What would you like them to know about Women Rising next week?
If you are craving and starving for connection, this is the place to be. The connection, like the power of connection to other women, will ignite, will inspire us, right? That is what I've gotten out of it. That is what everybody gets out of this experience. And I will say that. I will put money on it that there's not a single woman who has joined your events that didn't get some nugget of inspiration and creative juices flowing inside themselves that made them think, that made them reflect, that made them want to connect and crave something more for themselves. That's what we get. That's what I got last year for the first time, and seeing the beautiful faces, and that's what I get continuously being part of this sisterhood. It is home to me. If you want a home of other women like-minded, like Heather, like us, please, like, this is your home.
Yeah, come on in. You always have a seat here. Come on in. I love it. Yes, I all of that. And I'm going to go back to what I just said. It feels like the right thing to say. If not now, when?
Yeah.
When are you going to do it? If you are thinking about it and you're like, ugh, I got things and I got that. First of all, you don't just get live access. You also get the replays, and you have them forever, and you get all the freebies. Like, there's no excuse when it comes to that. And if you don't do it now, when the hell are you going to do it? There are so many times in our life where we regret the things that we didn't do, or the things that we could have done earlier, or, oh, I wish I would have done that. And it's not a full regret, at least for the women that I tend to be around. We recognize it. We're like, oh, that sucks, but no regrets, I suppose. And I don't know a single person that ever regrets going out and jumping off that cliff and trusting themselves and being brave. I don't know one woman that regrets saying, I signed up for this thing and I showed up for myself and I was just like, let's see what happened. No, never, never. Never will you regret doing something really, really good for yourself, even if you're not sure what it's going to look like and you're not sure what it's going to feel like. Something's going to happen, and you're going to be really fucking proud of yourself, and you're going to walk away a different person. And that different person is going to be the one that you have been dreaming about, because it's going to give you the tools, the confidence, the inspiration, the support, everything you need to take that actual full ass step forward into that version of you that lives the version of your life that you want to live, because you can't live in that new version of your life if you're still that old version of you. Lottie just, oh, the phone fell. Lottie just said that. She's had that talk with her therapist. You can't bring your old baggage into the new life. You got to drop some shit at the door. So I love you ladies. I'm so excited for you guys to be there. I'm going to hop off so I can hop on a call with one of my one-on-one clients. She's fucking awesome. P.S. It's the same one-on-one client that if you go up, I want you ladies to go up and read this message I got. It's so cool. Up in my story, because she literally talks about the woman I'm about to jump on a call with. She's like, I know your girl, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I have got to put that up in the story. So go check it out. It's the coolest thing. They are literally, they're helping each other. And the domino effect, the ripple effect that's happening is really cool. So I just wanted you guys to read that, because that's what you guys are going to be doing next week. So anyways, I will talk to you ladies soon. I love you so much. I'll see you guys in the chat, okay?
Bye.